Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for stopping by Sledgehammer TV tonight. It is Monday, November the 20th, and you are here for your official Monday Night Raw review, and we are going to get that started right here and right now on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of the YouTube wrestling community, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. So, let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, if you're still awake, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me is my trusty tag team partner, my loyal companion, and the world heavyweight champion of microphones, Blue the Snowball. And this is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's official Monday Night Raw review. You know, today was a bad day. I woke up this morning. Does this ever happen to you? You ever just wake up in the morning and you just feel terrible? Maybe it's because I knew the impending doom that lie before me with Monday Night Raw being on my plate for this evening. Maybe it's because I had to go back to work after I enjoyed a wonderful 3-day weekend, a very, very enjoyable wrestling-wise 3-day weekend with War Games being absolutely fantastic and Survivor Series being a solid B, a very good presentation by the WWE. And then I have to resume my normal daily activities, going back to my shit job, as most of us have to do, and I just woke up feeling miserable. And it was made much worse by the thing I love the most in this world, which is professional wrestling. Monday Night Raw tonight. My God. What am I watching here? You know, I was immediately in trouble by the 9 o'clock hour. I was sitting comfortably with my young daughter on the couch, and my beautiful wife knew I was in trouble. And she took it upon herself to brew me some deliciously home-brewed Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice, right? You know, it's that time of the year where we got to get some pumpkin spice in our life. And I am still drinking it in my wonderful travel mug that I got from being a Perks member. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to take a sip right now because it's so delicious. And it's the only thing that I enjoyed throughout the entirety of tonight on Monday Night Raw. Jesus Christ. The couple of things that we learned tonight from Monday Night Raw. One, most importantly, being tonight's episode of Raw proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the only reason we got the Survivor Series we got was because they were feeling the pressure from NXT, and they knew that War Games was going to blow them away. So they made the appropriate changes, and they gave us an absolutely stacked card. And for the last 2 weeks, we were allowed to enjoy wrestling just a little bit. I mean, it was not without its issues, but we were able to look forward to AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar, Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss, The Shield versus The New Day. A very impressive card put together at the last minute, which shows you that they absolutely have the capability of putting on a good wrestling show. Why this cannot be consistent, I don't know why. But like I said, this proves that now that the threat of War Games is over, we can go back to business as usual and go on this train that we're trying to keep rolling that has absolutely gone off the tracks. Oh my God. Tonight show was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. For them to only revert back to what they were failing with before they made things interesting on the road to Survivor Series it's mind-boggling. Now, I understand it's based on the inter-brand promotional war for nothing. There was nothing at stake to give Survivor Series a little bit more of an important feel. We went over this on the Survivor Series review show last night. But regardless, it angers me because they can do it. They can write a good show. They can put on something that you want to see. And then we get tonight. What was so great about tonight? We had one good matchup tonight, and it happened at the beginning of the show, so that by the time you hit about 9:30, you already forgot about Finn Balor and Samoa Joe because you were bored out of your mind. If you were not as lucky as I was to have some delicious coffee to keep your ass awake, you were probably knocked out. And you might have even missed the big news of Paige's debut, which was ruined in my book. We'll get a little bit more into that later on. What did we get tonight? We got The Authority. Are we going back to that again? You got Triple H going to be more involved on the main roster, and you're just going to restart the Authority angle? Something that's been so played and overdone. And who wants to see Stephanie McMahon? Really? Come on. Enough is enough. It's bad enough we got to deal with Shane on the other show. I'm just so tired of seeing McMahons. I've had them all over my wrestling. They've been a stain, almost, for the last 15 years. When Vince was doing his thing, it was different. It was new. It was fresh. Now we've seen this for the last 25 years. We don't care how much she sounds like Vince or if she makes the same faces. I don't care. The Authority angle is played out. I don't care. The one singular moment that I enjoyed from Triple H's presence tonight was his little stare down with Braun Strowman. I would much rather see Triple H versus Braun Strowman than I would like to see Triple H versus Kurt Angle again. I'd rather see Kurt Angle take on somebody new, somebody young, somebody different, somebody like Samoa Joe, who he has familiarity with, but he has not tangled with on the WWE. Somebody like a Finn Balor, or any of the new generation that should be getting put over by these guys, but the WWE continues to fail to make new stars, and we just keep going back to having guys like Triple H on Monday Night Raw tonight, and essentially do absolutely nothing but take up the first 20 minutes of the show to accomplish nothing. The bottom line, it took 20 minutes of Stephanie McMahon and Kurt Angle and Triple H to announce that Jason Jordan was going to fight Braun Strowman. An absolutely ridiculous match. You have us hanging on the thread of the possibility of Braun Strowman and Triple H going head to head. And that's the dish you give us. That's like promising me steak and then giving me a little platter of tofu. Jason Jordan was overexposed tonight to make me absolutely sick to my stomach. It was just absolutely too much. From the beginning of the show, all the way through right before to the main event, we had to see Jason Jordan. We had to see him crying about his knee. We had to see him go like a 5-year-old child to his father in the back after he was booked in this match with Strowman, which he said he was ready for, and he says he's 100%, and now he's like, oh, Dad, I'm hurt, Dad. Get out of here with this crap. It is so nonsensical, and it just cringe-worthy garbage. Absolute garbage. He was on this show way more than he should have been. There was no Bray Wyatt on the show tonight. Maybe because they had too much time filled in for Jason Jordan. God knows what they have in store for Bray Wyatt. Maybe it's better off he wasn't on the show. This show was a nightmare as it was already. Everything about this show absolutely sucked. From the beginning straight on through the end. I know, a lot of us are happy to see Paige back, right? I was very happy to see Paige back, but the way they brought her back tonight was absolutely weird. It didn't feel right. It didn't have an impactful moment for me. I absolutely expected that music to hit after Alexa Bliss cut her little promo saying, oh, there's nobody left to challenge me. Right there was your spot to have the crow go, bah! And you hit the music and then out she comes to challenge Alexa Bliss. The only person she hasn't faced yet. It makes perfect sense. She didn't need to go in this whole circus mode and have another fatal four-way. Surprise! Fatal four-way. Oh, God. What was all that? Only to be made worse by the fact, and I don't care what you think. This is what I think. And you need to understand that this association with her tough enough trainees, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, is absolute trash. And it could have been made so much better if this is truly what you wanted to do, and you wanted to bring Paige back and give her a couple of girls to put over, right? To bring onto the main roster and get everybody associated with these two new faces. Why don't we do it with two girls that can wrestle? Why don't we do it with two girls that actually look like they may actually be friends with Paige? I don't care about their Tough Enough alliance. That is nothing. Tough Enough means nothing. There is not one Tough Enough winner on the roster right now. Not one. Both of the ones that won the very last iteration of Tough Enough are gone. Nobody that has ever won that show has had a prosperous and noteworthy career outside of Nydia, and that's a joke. That's a joke in of itself. So we're not going to go into the fact that Tough Enough contestants are now main roster for the women's division. That's how bad the women's division is. But it could have been made much, much more intriguing, much better, had that been Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Here are two women that have been primed and ready. They have been on NXT for a long time. They have worked their way to that spot, and it would make sense. They're both raven-haired. They're both foreigners. They have Australian accents. I think the three girls with the accents, and they all have this very, goth glam kind of thing going on. That would have been great. The Iconic Duo and Paige. Maybe you could have even called them the Iconic Trio. Who knows? That would have been great. Instead, we get Paige being given two lackeys who can't even really lace up their boots. Sonya Deville, I would be okay with Sonya Deville had I not been exposed to actual female MMA superstars. This is a woman who wants to be a pro wrestler that's pretending to be an MMA fighter. And then we have Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey on the horizon. And you want me to get behind Sonya Deville? Garbage. Nonsense. Mandy Rose. Drop dead gorgeous. We can't take that away from her. But much like a certain Red Nothing, that's pretty much all I've seen her bring to the table. She was on NXT for like a minute. I seen her maybe in 2-3 matches tops, and I wasn't impressed. So why they would get the call up over Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, who are clearly ready for that next step, there's not much more they can do down in NXT. Peyton Royce's performance in the NXT Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship was fantastic. She definitely showed that she has what it takes. I think her being put aside, somebody like Paige would have been great as far as exposure. As the same thing for Billie Kay, man. That just, when she said she wasn't alone, that's who I thought was coming out. Many of you guys probably thought it was Alberto Del Rio, but that would be ridiculous. Now, let's not get crazy. I absolutely thought it was going to be the Iconic Duo flanking her. But instead, we get trash. I mean, maybe we're jumping ahead. Maybe we're just too jaded by the rest of the show to actually enjoy this moment. The fact that she came out in the middle of the match just made no sense. She should have came out and confronted Alexa Bliss one-on-one, and then have her little minions attack Alexa Bliss. Not have the whole women's division involved in the debut. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. I did not feel this moment as much as I could have. I think my anticipation for her at the beginning of the segment, and then for them to fail to deliver and bring me Mickie James, and then after Mickie James, the whole cavalcade of the girls would come out one after the other, just the same old Raw bullshit. Same shit. I feel like I've seen this show over and over again, with the exception of having Paige back. This was nothing. Do you really think Paige needs two goons? I certainly don't. She didn't need to have anybody by her side before. She certainly doesn't need to have them here now. They brought down the whole reemergence of Paige for me. Could have been made the opposite reaction had they chose some better people for her, or simply just not do it at all. I don't know. The story, I guess, is just beginning, if they actually are writing a story, or if they're just talking gibberish, because I don't understand this show at all. There's nothing else we should even talk about outside of the main event, which speaks for itself. I shouldn't even have to sit here and tell you anything. You all already know. If you're even a half-educated wrestling fan, you know what the Intercontinental title means to this company. If you're a half-intelligent wrestling fan, you will not truly be okay with The Miz being the holder of the Intercontinental Championship either. This is not a testament towards The Miz. This is not me, marking out for being a Miz fan and trying to defend The Miz. The Miz is not what this is about. This is about the belt that The Miz was carrying around. Though he did do it justice on SmackDown, and he was a much better champion there, his championship reign on Monday Night Raw has been a solid dud. You cannot dispute that fact. So by putting it in the hands now of Roman Reigns, you've pretty much essentially changed nothing. Because you took it from one guy who's a mediocre wrestler. He's a fantastic performer. Let's not get it twisted. The Miz is absolutely great at performing. But wrestling, we all know what it is. We don't have to run the guy down. We know The Miz is a softer, more safe style. He wants longevity more than he wants big-time, memory-lasting moments. And you can't fault the guy for that. He wants a solid career. He's got a baby on the way. Who could blame him? And he's had a great career. Look at it. All in all, The Miz has been great. Whether you like him or you don't, that's whether or not you like pumpkin spice or caramel. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a different flavor that they choose. I don't mind The Miz, but as the Intercontinental Champion, think about the lineage of the Intercontinental Championship. The Bret Harts, the Mr. Perfects, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. Guys that can wrestle. Guys that can go the distance. Guys that can give you an Iron Man match without even blinking. It's just a different quality. It's the Workman's Championship. It's the working wrestler's title. The World Heavyweight Championship was always for the big showmen. It was always for the Hogans, and the Rockies, and the Cenas, and apparently the Romans. But now he has the Intercontinental Championship. How much can I really say? You all, like I said, already know the reality. I'm not going to go off and get angry about it. I did not get surprised by anything on this night, other than the time and the spot that they chose to bring back Paige. That was the only thing that surprised me on this whole entire night. I was not at all surprised by the emergence of Kane tonight. I was absolutely disappointed. I was made angered by his appearance. He was put through the ring last week, you guys. Through the ring. Power slammed by Strowman through the ring. Broke the ring. And he was back tonight. He was back tonight. To ruin our nights once again. Not that it was going that great anyway. Were we really going to see a classic between Jason Jordan and Braun Strowman? No. We're going to see the decimation of Jason Jordan, which I was absolutely looking forward to. And then you took that away from me by bringing the big red Maya back. Get him out of here. Why is he still around? I don't understand what this run for Kane is. And then, only to have him make Braun Strowman look like a chump, hit him in the throat with the chair, and have him walking out gasping for air. After just 24 hours ago, Braun Strowman had Triple H by the throat, quivering in fear. And then to be punked out by Kane the very next night. Do you know how many times Triple H beat Kane? I'm sure you couldn't even count on two hands the amount of times Triple H has been victorious over Kane in his last 2+ decades in the ring. What threat is Braun Strowman to a guy like Triple H if he can't overcome Kane? Think about it that way. I don't think anybody's looking at it from that angle. I'm certainly sure that WWE isn't looking at it from that angle. This night was ridiculous. I was hoping to see this go in a better direction. Coming off of Survivor Series, you should be building towards the Royal Rumble. I don't see anything in sight for the Royal Rumble build. I know that they may have a pay-per-view before the end of December. SmackDown Live is having the Clash of the Champions. I don't know if they're going to throw a Raw pay-per-view in there before the end of the year. I'm almost certain that they will. But if you are going to, now would be the time to let us know, don't you think? And start to build towards that in some way. I don't know where this show is going. There is nothing pointing in any direction other than the fact that Rollins and Ambrose now, especially with Roman winning the Intercontinental Championship, are almost certainly going to win the World Tag Team Championships next week, so the Shield can walk around with all the gold and no one to fight. Fantastic. What are we doing? As a company, they should be ashamed of this show tonight. They should be embarrassed of what they put forth on this night. Not because of Roman Reigns and him winning. Not because of anything in particular about this, but about the entire show as a whole. I can't see a path. Can you? Please enlighten me. Where are we going? Are we going to see Triple H and Braun Strowman? Are we going to see Triple H and Kurt Angle? Are we going to see any of that? Is Triple H just going to go back into the office and go away till WrestleMania? What is going on? Is Jason Jordan going to turn heel? Who cares? I really don't care. It couldn't happen fast enough. If the way they're going to do it is that Jason Jordan reveals he's actually not Kurt Angle's son and he was just trying to use him, then please do it, because I'm tired of seeing the adopted restless son. It's just run its course. It's doing more and more damage to this kid every single week. What else is there to talk about? Joe and Finn Balor? I don't even remember it. I legit don't. I know Samoa Joe beat Finn Balor. I don't know why there was a clean finish here. I wish they would have just allowed them to keep beating the hell out of each other. Maybe extend the angle a little bit by having them get double counted out. Somebody gets disqualified. No clear win. Let's drag this on. This is a quality match. This is a pay-per-view match. They don't see these guys that way. And as good as the match was, you're always going to get a good match out of Joe and Balor, no matter who they're in the ring against. Talking about good matches, to be fair, Roman and The Miz, they had a good match. They had a pretty good match. I was not happy with the interference by the Bar, which made the appearance of Rollins and Ambrose all the more predictable. It's almost like they're taking Wrestling 101, right? And it's the first day of class. And this is the basic way you structure your show. And then they got that structure and then decided, we got enough. We're going to drop out today after day one. And we're just going to use this basic script for each and every show, every single week, 2 times a week. This is how we're going to do it. Because I feel like this show is just more of the same old shit that we've been getting. Cesaro versus Ambrose. Ginger warfare. The 2 red-haired gingers battling it out. There was enough red going on Raw. You didn't need to have them battling it out in the middle of the ring. It's too much red for my eyes. Give me a break. This show was ridiculous. Elias versus Matt Hardy. There wasn't even a match. It was just a confrontation. The match happened last night on the pre-show. It was a good match. Elias won. Where else are we going to go from here? Elias already beat you. He said it on the way out. Last night wasn't enough, bro. I don't understand it. I really, truly believe they don't understand it. Asuka and Dana Brooke. That, to me, was more proof of the fact that they're just fucking clueless. They are absolutely clueless. Dana Brooke should not have lasted 30 seconds. Let alone 3.5, 4 minutes. She actually got in some shots. Unacceptable. Dana Brooke's level of expertise only rivals that of Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Same exact territory. Which is why I hate them being Paige's lackeys. And now you got Dana Brooke being made to look like something more than a jobber to Asuka, which is unacceptable. Dana Brooke is a nothing. She can't compete against anybody. She looked terrible even in this 3-minute squash. It should have been worse. It should have been 2 kicks to the head, done. There's no reason for her to come back and gain any sort of advantage or slap Asuka in the face. Unnecessary. Terrible booking. I just did not understand tonight's show. If you guys really believe you have it figured out and that you could enlighten me a little bit more on tonight's show, please feel free to do so. As I'm jogging my memory right now, because I cared so little I didn't take notes. I remember the things that are worth remembering, and everything else is absolutely forgettable. That's not the way you should be presenting a Monday Night Raw following what is arguably the best pay-per-view you guys have put on all year, at least pertaining to the Big Four. It's possible maybe there are 1 or 2 other gems out there, but as a whole, I don't think so. I think in its solid presentation, Survivor Series really was the best show they put on all year. And to come out of that and give us what we got tonight, good God, you guys. Absolutely terrible. There was so much talking tonight and so little wrestling that I couldn't stand it. I barely watched. For the majority of this night, I listened to Monday Night Raw more than I watched. I definitely was doing other things. I spent tremendously more valuable time talking with my 5-year-old little girl. Because those moments are incredible. Because she's funny as you can't ever imagine. Kids do say the darndest things. She cracks me up all the time. Monday Night Raw pisses me off all the time. So what would you rather do? Honestly. You guys that have kids, you know what I'm talking about. I struggle to think of anything else of importance to talk about with you guys tonight. If I missed anything, please feel free to call me out on it and light up the comment section below, as you guys love to do, and let me know if there's anything that you want to know my point of view on that I didn't talk about tonight, because is it really worth it? You guys, this show was an atrocity. It was an abomination of pro wrestling. Something that I do not ever want to see again. The way it went down tonight, it's almost as if they just hit the reset button after they gave us 2 good weeks leading into Survivor Series. And now that that's happened, I fully expect tomorrow night on SmackDown Live for the modern day moron Jinder Mahal to beat AJ Styles and take back the World Heavyweight Championship. It's like they just said, all right, we're going to take a break, we're going to do this, and then we're just going to go back to business as usual. And what's best for business in their eyes is only best for sleep aids. You know what I mean? They should be sponsored by NyQuil. Or what's the pill? I forget. Whatever the hell the pill is you take to go to sleep. Take that. Because you'd have a better night drinking NyQuil and taking some sleeping pills and catching up on some rest than you would if you watched this 3-hour ridiculous joke. I just remember the cruiserweights, and I want to forget them again. We're not going to talk about it. Because I said moron when I was talking about Jinder Mahal. So that reminded me of Enzo, a moron, who absolutely just makes me want to bang my head against the wall. And it's not even worth talking about. An absolutely atrocious night. Monday Night Raw after the Survivor Series. Garbage. That's your official Monday Night Raw review for tonight. Don't forget, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, to smash that thumbs up for me. Let me know that you like the show and that you like the channel and that you love what we're doing, so that we can continue to bring you the best in Raw, SmackDown, WWE coverage, reviews, results, previews, everything. I bring it to you all. Top 5 lists, top 10 lists of what's wrong with 2K18, 5 worst Survivor Series moments, at least for this guy. Check them all out. Everything's here on the channel. Just like we're going to have the SmackDown Live review tomorrow night. Don't forget to be here and check that one out as well. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my little buddy, my tag team partner, and the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, Blue the Snowball. And this has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Clutch Chairs down in the description below. That's going to do it, and we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Have a good one. Pumpkin spice. Delicious. We'll see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live.